Hi everyone, today is Wednesday, August 29, and I think it's August 29, but it's Wednesday, and excuse me, I was just thinking about actually some things related to the purpose of Black feminism. I'm also doing filming at different times of the day, different periods where there's more silence, where it's quiet, and also where my ideas could actually flow more fluidly. So I just wanted to actually talk to you about the whole purpose of Black feminism. Um, Black feminist thought is actually a coping strategy, and the text that I've actually introduced this video with by Patricia Hill Collins, it's a good starter, but for some it may not be a good starter because it speaks in a way that's very I don't want to say not accessible, but it's clear that Hill Collins is actually writing to you know, perhaps a privileged community. And I'm not saying that, we don't have an ability to conceptualize this stuff, but it's not written in our vernacular, but it's actually written in a way where we can bring some kind of connection to the different experiences. And, one of the things that I've actually sort of explored myself was other ways that you can actually develop, Black feminism. And Black feminist thought for us is actually a coping strategy. It has nothing to do with, bashing men or, sort of eradicating the male species. Like it doesn't even talk about that because, for example, in historical and systemic circumstances, the black female was marginalized along with the black male. So it was black women actually in the United States, especially in the university academic circles, that actually opened up that discipline and said, the discipline of like women's rights and what they call studies about women. They may call it feminism or gender studies, but it was actually black women academics in the United States that actually said, you know what, this is just wrong, because you guys are talking about, marginalizing men. We don't appreciate that when we've been actually marginalized with our men. So there's a very, very clear difference between Black feminism and actually how it applies. And what I just would suggest is that, try applying this sort of method. It's like a toolbox. You've got different tools in there. You could have like maybe whatever you have in there. So use one item from that and think of Black feminism as a toolbox to sort of, as part of a toolbox to help with, coping with trying to make sense of issues, especially, with things related to, marginalization as it impacts black women. For example, in Canada, especially Ontario, Canada, there's a very, very dirty, nasty practice to actually separate black women from their children and to re-characterize these women as these black women as being unproductive and marginal, in a way that they did that to Aboriginal women in Canada. They basically separated them from their families and children, and there's this very, very alarming sort of growth, and the numbers are just crazy. Like, just, it shouldn't even happen to one. And I realize there's situations where women do violences as well. So when you work with Black feminism, you actually have to read through the texts. And Hill Collins actually gets a lot of credit, and she should, for actually writing a text that narrows everything down into, okay, how do we actually talk about this in theoretical terms. But you have other pieces like from different types of black women writers who actually, use sort of the cultural expressions to connect black women and black men as well to, elements of black feminism that would actually benefit them. There's nothing emasculating or dehumanizing about black feminism, and it's very interesting to actually read and listen to a lot of the ignorance around what black feminist thought is. For me, it's actually helped me, cope with a lot of things in my life, but just in the world and with systems and purposes, and even in the development of my career, and being up against systemic marginalization. Um, you know, there's so many things that you can do with black feminism, and I just wanted I wanted to encourage you to experiment with it. And for example, you could have one apple, apple species, but there's so many different flavors or so many different kinds of or types of apples within the apple species. And it's the same thing with black feminist thought. It's a type of fruit, but there's so many different flavorings of that fruit in the same way as versions of black feminist thought. So, like myself, I've read stuff from, written from a like a Canadian context, and talking about black feminism. But, I wasn't really impressed with that material because I found it was very disrespectful to actually black women in the United States, who actually opened up the opportunities for us to learn about the expression that the oppression that they experienced, and then sort of make that available for us to sort of come to understand, and also put our experience into that whole discipline of black feminism. So the Canadian stuff that I've actually reviewed is very, very, it doesn't build upon the academic tradition to actually cite your sources. So, I just wanted to say, take your time and work with black feminists. I mean, I've put all different kinds of videos about all kinds of stuff, and, it's just very raw, and I'm not going to edit anything because there's really no need to. And, go ahead and read the comments. Like, some of the comments are, people trying to understand different things, and some of the comments are just like, well, people have to assert, some kind of domination related to masculinity that they could actually learn to enrich themselves through black feminist thought. So, this is just my commentary to say, like, even for, I've got some videos about, one video so far, about, sort of theorizing acting. And I just find that very, very, I don't know if I want to say irrelevant, because the thing is that, but I think that's what I could mean, because the thing is that, to me, a person's person and creativity is not irrelevant. So why do you actually have to come up with a theory to actually teach people how to act? And I just find that very, very strange. But what black feminism or black feminist thought would encourage one to do, as well as other academic disciplines related to critical methodologies, is explore that curiosity and ask a key question: why is there anything such as theorizing how to act? And then go through the materials, put your perspective in there, and share it. So, anyways, that's just some of my thoughts about black feminist thought. it's a coping strategy, and it's very, very relevant to our experiences as well as black male experiences. And for you folk out there who are not from sort of the black world, you can also learn from Black Feminist Thought because it actually enriches the ability to look at ways to sort of restructure very, very personalized and sensitive things, but also things that could be looked at as not being very sensitive and very depersonalized. So it's a really good way to actually reconstruct things and also look at systems, but also to be respectful to a voice from a perspective unlike someone's and yourselves. So, yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts, and I really think this text, actually, Black Feminist Thought, needs to be updated. I could really work on something like that where I could put in, perspectives about even like the Canadian state, the dehumanizing of, single black women, separation of single black women from their children, the placement of, for example, black women into, sort of these models of charity that actually degrade the black women further. So it actually doesn't even empower them. It actually uses the population of marginal black women to collect data and actually collect funding from the Canadian, I shouldn't say the Canadian state, but a division or a level of the Canadian state. And I think that would be something really nice to put together. So I'm working on a couple things, and I'm not sure how the lighting looks, but I like sort of this aura right now. And I just have some jasmine tea, actually, that I'm going to have a cup of. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'd certainly like to hear your thoughts.